Hi, good everyone, and today is the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, 27th, sorry. Today is the 27th of February 2023, and it's been like an election period over here in Nigeria. And these are my thoughts. So, for the past 3 days, if I'm not mistaken, especially since Saturday, I've not been able to walk. I've constantly been checking fields on Twitter, checking out the news blogs. I'm trying to see what the outcome of the election is gonna be like. And honestly and sincerely, it was really disappointing. We've been told over 300 billion was allocated to this whole project, which is the election project. As a tech person, there are 1,001 ways would have been able to conduct this election free, fair, easy. We are in a country where we have BVNs, biometric. People could easily thumbprint and they have their, info popping up. So, I mean, it's one thing to just, create channels of, interconnections like on the systems where you come in, you thumbprint, your thumbprint get verified. Like we could actually have like an ATM kind of setting. When you go to the ATM and you try to withdraw cashless, you thumbprint, it asks you, okay, from your thumbprint it knows your bank account links to your BVN with that bank. So let's say if I have a GT bank account and I lost my ATM, just go over to a GTB card, a GTB ATM, thumbprint, and for my fingerprint, it identifies my BVN and show me the amount of accounts I have with GT. So I can now choose, oh, I want to withdraw from my, current account, or I want to withdraw from my savings account, or whichever account. So just for my thumbprint, my data are being able to get matched, and I can now carry out actions. So from a tech instance, part of the BVAS and all that, I mean, we could simply just create, with that budget, create a better polling station where it's just easy for you to just go there and thumbprint and um you know the whole part is coming and you just choose the one you want. It does the whole validation, sends probably an OTP, and then you get to see a confirmation from your maybe SMS telling you, oh, you voted for Labour, you voted for whatever party you want to vote for, and everybody goes on. So that way it's easy. Virtually everybody has BVN, but now we're not using BVN. We all did the PVC. So let's say virtually everybody had or enrolled for the PVC, the thumb printed, it got captured. So a thumb print could just easily proceed you into choosing your next party digitally. You do that, and then we'll have a live counter, right? I mean, no one should really be scared of who they're voting for. So there should be, models where it's completely free and fair. I was actually expecting like a blockchain kind of, system where I'm heading towards a polling unit and I'm thumbprinting for, let's say, Labour Party, and just the moment I'm done, everybody can actually see live. I know people are always saying, "Oh, you shouldn't let anyone see who you're voting. It's a personal thing." I think we're just corrupted because most times there are people who share money. So if you vote for APC, they give you money. If you vote for this, they give you money. So we're all fighting for confidentiality. So you don't see who we're voting for. But I mean, people who would want to sell their vote will still go with their phone and thumbprint and video it and show whoever is giving them money, and they give them whatever bribe they're giving them. So I mean, the people who would be buying votes already have a way of going around their own thing. So I mean, people like us who want credibility shouldn't be, disturbed. So, I mean, if I can thumbprint and let's say we have a live field, these things are quite easy. Once a polling unit is on, it shows active. People walk up to the stations or to the, box, enter there. I was actually expecting something like an ATM box, like, a booth. I think that's how they call it. I was expecting kind of a booth, just when we have a public phone booth. You just walk in there, you thumbprint, it captures your lesson, shows you the party, you choose whatever party you want, it tells you verify, you click on verify. Just after you do that, like on a live field, Labour Party will just increase by one, and you'll be able to, like, we could even have a blockchain kind of unit where every single person is given like an SSID, like an ID where only you know your ID, no one else does. So if me and Mr. Dana, for instance, I could have a hash that only me knows. So whenever you go to the, like I said, I wanted it to be a blockchain system. So whenever you go over to the people who vote for a particular, party in a particular polling unit, you would see lots of hashes. Now those hashes are not your business, but each person knows that their hash appear there, like on Labour Party. So if I ever see my hash, on somewhere else, I can actually dispute. So I was even expecting like a very true and fair, kind of system. But we just had a system where they said someone has a BVS, and from the BVS, they would put password to upload, they snap, they upload. I mean, 300 billion. People like us could actually do something better with just 10% of that, even 1% of that. So I was actually wondering how, the country actually had this whole lot of budget. And we had lots of planning. I mean, this is like 4 years, preparation, and it was just all a flop. So it's really, really very painful and annoying. And I constantly couldn't work because somehow I was, a bit looking forward to the whole thing. But I would really say I was surprised beyond imagination. Labour Party that supposedly had no structure, it's currently having some senatorial seats. It's beautiful. It's more beautiful because before now politicians will constantly criticize Labour Party on how they have no structure, they're online, mouth makers and all that. So I'm really happy that people pull through. What I feel, which is like the honest, sincere stuff, I don't think Labour Party would win. I think Tinubu is going to win, but I think from now to the next 4 years, depending on how APC acts, Peter Obi is going to come back, and when he does, he's going to win, and this is why. It's already obvious that the whole country is tired of the current government. Now, however, there's some people who have not still learned their lesson. Maybe APC did not show them enough shege. So this next 4 years, they would see the shege they did not see. And I know I'm positive that APC would somehow misbehave, right? Because it's basically like still the same people. Their concept has not really changed to know its end game. Because if they know its end game, they would start doing things right this 4 years so they keep being in power. But I think because they've been in power for the last 8 years, they'll still be comfortable thinking it's business as usual. So they'll likely flop this next 4 years. And that would give rise for a stronger force, within the Peter Obi movement. So the only thing I think Peter Obi and the whole Labour Party should do is to try as much as possible to build oneness. I already see lots of Igbos, making it look like Peter Obi is our brother and that's why we're voting for him. No, we're not voting for Peter Obi because, he's from whatever region he is. We're voting for him because we want somebody who is vibrant, strong, and someone who has a track record. I, for a person, I was a router of Showeri, Omole Showeri. And I think the only reason I stepped out from Oshowere was because I felt at the point he was somebody who doesn't listen to advice, and that is something that scares me. People who don't listen to advice, it's deadly. That was the point I don't listen to advice, and I now was making a mess out of my life. So I've really got to understand that people who really listen and who don't feel like they know it all, they're always right, are people who you could actually work and relate with. The major reason why the politicians currently in government don't care about anything is because they are like these adamant people, and whatever they just feel is right is right. Imagine where we protest for things and they just feel we're wrong, and we're just protesting, and they just want to silence us. Now that's the sound of dictatorship, and I don't like that. And when I see Showore, for instance, you see people say things like, Showore, you're a nice person, we know you've been an activist, you once supported Buhari, things did not go well. Everyone felt you were actually rolling up because you were not happy you were appointed or something. Now that's just speculation. I really don't buy that. But the more suggestion was, sure, why don't you pick up something from the grassroots and show us that you're credible. I mean, it's stupid how he expects us to vote him as the president, but he will consistently want to make remark of people's legacy. He would want to tell you this person doesn't have a track record, this person did this person did this. Why is this person in power? This person is not competent. He keeps talking about people's competency based on their previous record, and he tries to tell us that these people doesn't have track record, so you shouldn't vote this person. And him, for a person, doesn't even have a track record when it comes to politics. He has not actually gone for any posts that we can actually say, okay, fine, he was a local government chairman at least. okay, maybe he was, one little position that he actually did at Stanley Wall. We have not even seen him come for, governor. I think, I believe if he was coming for governorship, people should be able to like clamor for him, right? But he just wants to go presidency straight. Now, presidency is a big game. One of the major reasons why Obi is having lots of votes is because he was once the governor of Anambra, and he tried to an extent. And no one is perfect, but the track record, shows part of what he did. Tinubu also had a good track record years ago when he was governor of what was it called again? When he was the governor of Lagos State, he did a whole lot he could do. So the track record is there. Now, people might be voting, P2B now, not really because Tinubu doesn't have a good track record, but just basically because Tinubu is quite old, and he needs to rest, and that's just a fact. Because we have been in a position where we saw somebody who doesn't really tolerate corruption, but he couldn't function more or well because he was kind of old, and that person is Buhari. Buhari is someone who really, realistically loves justice. He doesn't have this, romance with corruption. Yes, there could be little corruptions being done under his nose, and he wasn't aware of it. But realistically, Buhari would be the last person to allow corruption go through him straightly, right? But in as much as that, corruption kept going, under him because he wasn't strong. He's always going for a medical checkup. He's not someone who is still very much vibrant. The will might be there, the soul might be willing, but the body is weak. So I just feel that's the same thing with Tinubu. I wouldn't want the country to be in a position where our leader will be having more trips, for checkup than having more trips to inspect the jobs that have been done. So the only person who has a better track record, close to that of Tinubu was Peter Obi. So Tinubu does have a track record. Now, for the conspiracies, theories of him being a drug dealer, I mean, there have been lots of articles posted, and they've not really come forward to dispute most of these things. I really do not know. I think they've tried, keeping them aside or trash talking them, but they've not actually disputed this, with facts. The thing is, I feel Nigeria is actually a corrupt country because I know Tinubu did a whole lot, but I don't think he did as much as a guy called Pablo Escobar. I'm sorry if I'm linking Tinubu with drug. I mean, those things are all alleged, even if they've been posted from some source. Like I said, they haven't disputed it. But what I'm trying to say to an extent is there was this guy. His name is Pablo Escobar. I think it's a popular name. Everybody knows Pablo by now. Pablo did a whole lot of good for the community, empowered people, did a whole lot of charity. He was a very nice man, then. And just when he was contesting, in politics, Pablo was turned down just because there was this mugshot, of him being involved in drugs. Now imagine someone being so nice to a lot of people and he wasn't allowed to vote just because they could tie him with drugs. Everyone turned against him. They wouldn't want a drug dealer being the figure for the country, and they turned him down. And it's really very funny that we would sit down and actually, commend the Western world. Oh, they're doing very fine. Oh, they're so hard. They arrested a politician. They did this. But the moment it happens to us, we want to arrest a politician or want to be able to prosecute somebody who is wrong. Everybody who eats or who benefits from that person's corruption comes up to shout as if, we're doing the wrong thing. Because I see lots of accusations on the drug dealing around, Tinubu. But for whatever reasons, no one is, trying to pay attention to it. It doesn't even look good we're having someone who is starved to drugs contesting. If this was some Western world, they'll force that guy to resign. But I mean, Nigeria, anything goes. You have money, everybody, goes with it. So as long as you're a godfather, I mean, even if you sell people's people's human parts, just make sure enough money goes around, and everyone is cool. So I don't even feel the problem of Nigeria is the government. I feel it's just the people. I mean, who helps to rig these elections? It's obviously the people. I have not seen any aspirant, any presidential aspirant, or any governor aspirant, try to drag ballot box. It's usually the people who should really be working towards a better country that are actually helping to destroy it. We have thugs who come there and fight. The same thugs who are, victims of the environment, victims of bad governorship, victims of the bad social environment and poverty thinking, structure. These are the same people whom, if countries get well, they would be hoodlums. But here you have them fighting and disrupting election. We have police who are supposed to make sure the election is fair and fair, going against it. We have INEC officials, even coppers who constantly complain their Lawi doesn't come, well, all the money is not enough, or how the country is hard, there are no jobs. You still see them trying to rig in favor of one person because they feel they will get money for a particular while. Maybe they promise them a couple of hundreds of thousands, and they feel they can actually just sell people's vote for that. So you see every single person at the grassroots that should be making the election fair and fair, that should make things better, being part of the corruption. So the only reason why I feel Tinubu is going to win, but it's going to be for the greater good, is because this time around, it's going to be more difficult for anyone to be able to bribe anyone again. So if Tinubu wins and things get messed up like we all predict, people would come under the comment probably to say, "Oh, you're wishing negativity." But let's just face fact for what it is. Tinubu becomes the president today. There are a lot of people within Tinubu's squad who, obviously, we all know are people who are, you know, more comfortable. This is my godfather, he's the president. If I'm supposed to do the road, I wouldn't do it. One of the major reasons why things are not properly done in the country is because one party is always ruling. And imagine where the president is Labour, some of the governors are PDP, and then the grassroots is APC. Now there's a disparity, right? So the governors are, for instance, PDP, local government chairman, people they give jobs are like APC. Now those ones know that if the PDP governors gives them money for something they don't do, they will roast them up. They will not put them in a hot seat. So they try to make sure they please the PDP, and the PDP would want to make sure they please Labour at the presidency. So the fact that we have one party ruling, federals, states, local, means there is no consequences. Local government chairman siphons money, nobody's, probing him. The governor decides to squander, the federal doesn't disturb him. They're all under one party, so things gets done. So I feel after now, there will really be a dissection around the political sphere. I'm happy Labour Party is getting into different fields, the senatorial section specifically. I just hope, and I know from the next 4 years, we'll have lots of people to campaign to Labour. I myself, if I had actually known Labour would do so well, I'm from Abia State, I would have just go picked up a form and at least go for one council, on one local position. If only I know say, because the way we're told, once people just see a child, a father and a mother, they thumbprint. So if I had gone for my ward, Umaya Olokoro precisely, I would have had lots of people vote for me. Imagine me representing my ward. But let's just say I have lots of software to create now. So that would be me getting to sabotage the whole thing. Why go for a position you can't really do easy details? I'm really barely managing my tech company, and there are lots of always things we need to do. So even if I had contest, I know Prositella I would have won. You saw Banky W won to someone, or lost to someone who no one almost knows. So I think, yeah, we would have been able to have a better chance. But like we said, every single person coming right now to represent Labour Party, it's not just coming there for fun. It's coming there to say we could do different. So I wouldn't be happy if I go there now knowing how my hands are filled. But I've always been a lover of politics anyway. But I just hope those who had, little opportunities to get voted in on that Labour Party does something well. Don't go there and misbehave and the next thing you the camp. People are crazy. You go there right now, you're meeting politicians, they're telling you sweet in your ear, you want to decamp to some other major party, forgetting APC who brought you in. I kind of predict that would happen. But I just hope they really understand that they're only there because people were voting for Labour. Most people, once they're in a position, they forget why they got there. So I just hope so. So somehow I still feel I wish I was a bit more structured. But I think from now to the next 4 years, I'm going to be making my, moves when it comes to politics. I'm happy I've learned how to structure my company properly. So it's just for me to do the right thing and start getting acquainted to politics. It's going to really be very beautiful. But I know I'm going to have lots of people contesting against me years from now, if I should ever go, because the Labour Party is going to be rowdy. Like if I had started now, I wouldn't have had anyone disturbing me. But then 4 years from now. But at the end of the whole day, let's just focus on what it's worth focusing on. What it's the outcome of the election. Whatever it is, we should all know that we, for once as Nigerians, came strong, have one voice on that Labour Party. That voice must have been rigged, it must have been throttled down, but we should all know that it's just the beginning. I believe we've actually passed the message. No one will actually undermine Labour Party ever again. We're gonna have more people coming in. The only thing I really pray for is now we're yet to have governorship election. The Labour Party should start now to see if we can. I don't know if we actually had parties or people representing us on different states, because this is the time we need to start letting Nigerians know as Labour Party we can do better. So the people who are coming for the governorship positions, once they're in charge of that positions, just do the best you can do. Do it. So even if APC rules us now in the next 4 years, every single governor who has been, a Labour Party, member would have their state doing extremely better than it ever did with APC and PDP combined. So that alone will propel us to win next time. But if they fuck it up, it go hard though, because then people would always make reference to, oh, you said Labour Party is good. Okay, how about this state? How about that state? How about this governor? How about that governor? So please, every single person who's coming up on the Labour Party, just do your best. Now talking about the election, we all see it's glaring, it's completely rigged. It's way too bad that they are just swapping. Lots of people will vote for Labour. They'll take the vote of Labour, accredit it to some other party, and take that of that other party to give Labour. We understand they can do every single thing they want to do. I wasn't even expecting us to win immediately. Battles like this are not just one at the first trial. We have to try and try and try again. But I know we're not going to try more than 2 times. So we did not get it. The election has not been called, but Tinubu will win. But now, if Peter Obi ends up winning, I'm still going to be the most happiest person on earth. But I mean, if he doesn't still win regardless, I know our next shot we're going to win. Now, it might not really be Peter Obi, but it will still be someone whom the youth would have so much love for. I believe now we're more sound enough to know we need somebody who is strong and vibrant, and somebody who can attend to debates and relate with us. So let's just say the cabals would have the shot at this one, or the people will have the shot at the next election. So thank you very much. This is the Dannyokec Gist. If you don't follow up on the Dannyokec Gist, please do so. Head over to gist.dannyokec.com. Now this is where I share exclusive thoughts on my podcast, on my channel, and I tell you every single thing relating to how I manage my business, how the company runs, and lots of other very pressing gist on topics like the current election. So till next time, thank you very much. This is Mr. Daniel.